You think you know the story of the abominable snowman, a roaring monster from campfire tales, but the truth is far stranger, and much more lonely. What if the real creature is an intelligent survivor from a forgotten age? A quiet master of an environment so harsh, its very existence defies logic. Tonight, we ignore the legends. We travel to the roof of the world to experience the bizarre and stressful reality of the Yeti, and learn the secrets of how he survives in a place where nothing is supposed to live at all. Before we begin, take a deep breath and let the room grow quiet. If these soft journeys bring you peace, feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there. It's always comforting to know who's resting alongside us tonight. Now, close your eyes and let the wilderness unfold. You do not wake to the sound of birds, nor to the scent of damp earth. You awaken to the cold. It is the first and most constant truth of your existence, the alpha and the omega of your world. It is a presence, a physical entity that presses in on you from all sides, a silent companion that has shared your slumber through the long, dark night. You are nestled deep within an ice cave, a hollow space carved by wind and time from the ancient, frozen heart of the mountain. Your bed is a thick, dry mattress of moss and lichen you have carried here over many seasons from the lower, more forgiving valleys, a task of immense effort for just this simple comfort. Yet, even with this insulation, the cold is absolute, a defining feature of your sanctuary. You feel it on the parts of your face not covered by your thick, white fur. It is a sharp, clean, and biting sensation on your eyelids, a delicate sting on your nose, a solid numbness on your lips. It is not an aggressive cold, not a damp, seeping chill that saps one's strength. It is the pure, sterile, and profound cold of the highest places on earth. A cold that feels as ancient as the stars, a cold that has the power to stop time itself, to freeze a moment into a perfect, glittering crystal. But this cold is only an external truth. The state of the world outside your skin, from the core of your immense body, a different reality radiates outwards, a silent and powerful rebuttal to the ice around you. It is the deep, slow, metabolic furnace of a creature perfectly adapted. As your consciousness gently returns, you can feel it. A low, steady fire deep in your chest, a river of slow lava moving through your veins, a profound warmth that pushes back against the encroaching frost. Your consciousness returns to this boundary, this delicate line between your own living heat and the absolute zero of your kingdom. Waking is the simple, silent acknowledgement of this daily miracle, that you are a vessel of impossible warmth, in a world of infinite, beautiful cold. You observe the effects of this personal climate. The ice on the cave wall closest to your body has a thin, wet sheen melted by your radiated heat, while the ice on the far wall is covered in a delicate lacework of frost. You are a living sun in a palace of ice, your own life a source of impossible energy. Waking is this first, quiet inventory. The cold outside, the warmth within, and the perfect, hard-won balance between the two. With your consciousness returned to your body, a quiet hum of awareness in the vast machine, you perform your first deliberate act of the day. You breathe. This is not the easy, unconscious act of the creatures in the world below. For you, every breath is a choice, a ritual, a form of work, a conscious communion with your hostile environment. The air in your ice cave is thin, almost impossibly so. It holds less than a third of the oxygen found at sea level. It is a ghost, of the air that other beings breathe, a sparse and precious commodity. Your body, however, is a masterpiece of high-altitude adaptation. Your massive chest cavity houses lungs of an immense capacity, and your blood is different, richer, more efficient, designed to capture every precious molecule of oxygen and carry it to your powerful muscles. You begin the process, the first of 10,000 breaths you will take today, a ritual as old as your lineage. You start with the exhale, a slow, deliberate, and complete emptying of your lungs. You feel the muscles in your diaphragm contract, pushing the old, stale air of your slumber out of your body. It leaves your mouth as a thick, white cloud of steam, a visible manifestation of your inner warmth, meeting the absolute cold, the cloud plumes in the still, frigid air of the cave, momentarily obscuring your vision in a white out of your own making, before the moisture in it instantly freezes and falls as a shower of tiny, glittering ice crystals onto the white fur of your chest. For a moment, you are empty. It is a state of profound stillness, a meditative pause between the past and the future. Then, the inhale begins. It is a slow, deep, and powerful expansion of your chest, a conscious effort to pull the thin, pure air deep into your being. You feel the icy sharpness in your nostrils, a clean and clarifying pain. You feel the coldness travel down your throat and into your lungs as they expand to their full, mighty capacity, your ribs rising like the great timbers of a ship. You hold the breath for a long moment, allowing your miraculous body to perform its alchemy, to extract the vital essence of life from the near-nothingness. It is in this held breath that you feel your own strength, a quiet affirmation of your power to exist here. Finally, you release it, another slow, controlled cloud of steam, and the cycle is complete. This is how you live, not with panicked gasps, but with slow, mindful, and powerful breaths that honor the precious, scarce air of your kingdom. Now, you listen. With your body sustained, you extend your hearing out from the relative stillness of your cave into the vast emptiness beyond. The soundscape here is unlike any other on the planet, a composition written for an audience of one. For a creature of the lower world, it would be described as an absolute, deafening silence. But your hearing is far more acute, designed to perceive the subtle textures of this great quiet, the grand notes that make up the symphony of emptiness. The most prominent sound is the wind. It is not the gentle rustle of leaves. It is the low, mournful, and soul-deep howl of air moving across immense, open spaces. It is a sound of pure loneliness, and you have come to know its many voices. You can hear its high, whistling shriek as it whips through a narrow, rocky pass a mile away. You can hear its deeper, bass roar as it collides with the sheer, icy face of the great peak above you. You can hear the soft, insistent hiss of the fine, dry snow it drives across the surface of the glacier below. The wind is the voice of the mountain itself, its lonely, ever-present song, and you listen to its moods as a sailor listens to the sea. Beneath the howl of the wind, there is another sound, one that is more felt than heard. It is the deep, resonant groan of the glacier that forms the floor of this valley. It is a sound that happens on a geological timescale, a slow, immense creak as millions of tons of ancient ice shift by a millimeter under their own impossible weight. A deep crack and groan from one side of the valley, a sound that seems to travel through the rock and into your very bones, is answered, long minutes later, by a resonant boom from the other. It is the mountain talking to itself in a language of immense pressure and slow, deliberate time. It is a conversation that has been going on for 10,000 years. Beyond these two great sounds, there is nothing. No bird song, no insect chatter, no rustle of small animals in the undergrowth. There is only the vast, profound silence, a quiet so complete that it has weight, a presence that cleanses the mind and makes you feel as if you are floating in the cold, clear space between the stars. It is the sound of absolute solitude, and it is the sacred music of your kingdom. You rise from your nest of moss, your immense body unfolding with a slow, deliberate grace that belies your size. Each movement is controlled, silent. You move towards the mouth of your ice cave, your large, snowshoe-like feet, with their thick, woolly fur, making no sound on the frozen floor. The light at the cave's entrance is a brilliant, piercing blue, a light that has been filtered through hundreds of feet of ancient, compressed ice, giving it a color of impossible purity. It is like looking out from inside a giant sapphire. You step out onto a high, wide ledge, and the world opens up before you. The sight is one of breathtaking, almost overwhelming scale. You are standing above the clouds. Below you, a vast, unbroken sea of white, fluffy clouds stretches out to the horizon, obscuring the entire lower world. It is as if the great oceans have risen to cover the earth, leaving only the highest peaks as lonely, rocky islands in a silent, white sea. The clouds are not static. You can see them moving in impossibly slow motion, currents and eddies churning over the course of many minutes, a soft, silent storm that will never touch you. The sun, just beginning to crest the curve of the planet, is not yet visible from your vantage point, but its light is already setting the most distant, highest peaks ablaze. You watch as the snow on a summit 50 miles away, a peak like a jagged tooth of rock and ice, catches the very first rays of light. It begins to glow, first a soft, delicate rose color. Then, as the sun rises higher, the color deepens, creeping down the face of the mountain like a slow, warm blush, turning from rose to a fiery, impossible shade of orange and red. It is the phenomenon known as alpenglow, a secret and silent greeting between the sun and the highest places on earth. The air is so clear, so free of dust or haze, that the colors are almost painfully pure, a vibrancy that seems impossible in this frozen world. You stand there, a solitary, white-furred figure against the vast emptiness, the undisputed king of this silent, frozen, and devastatingly beautiful world, watching the day being born from a perspective that no other living creature will ever witness. The weight of solitude, you stand on the precipice. The king of all you survey, the first rays of direct sunlight now reaching you, a pleasant, prickling warmth on your thick, white coat, and as you take in this immense, empty beauty, you feel the defining emotion of your existence settle over you like a second, heavier coat of fur. It is a vast, ancient, and unshakable loneliness. It is not a fleeting mood or a passing sadness that can be remedied. It is simply a fact, a condition of your life, as fundamental as the cold or the thin air. You are the only one of your kind that you have seen in many, many turnings of the seasons. Your memory, long and deep and clear, holds the faint echo of others, a time when your kind walked these high places in small family groups, their calls absorbed by the same deep silence. But those memories are like the ancient air trapped in the glacier ice. They are from another time, another world. Now there is only you. This solitude is both your greatest strength and your heaviest burden. It allows you to survive, for a single creature can move with a stealth that a group cannot. You leave a smaller trail. You require less food. You can disappear more easily into the vastness of the snowfields when the rare human expeditions venture too close. But it also means that the immense story of your people, the knowledge of the mountains, the memory of your ancestors, the language of the glaciers, now resides in you alone. You are a living library with no one to read your pages. You are a king with no subjects, a guardian with nothing left to guard but the mountain itself and the memory of your kind. You feel this weight, not as a sharp sorrow, but as a deep, solemn duty. It is the price of your kingship, the cost of your survival. It is the quiet acceptance of being the last note of a long and ancient song. And so, as the sun finally breaks over the horizon and floods your empty kingdom with a brilliant, cold light, you accept it. You accept the silence, you accept the cold, and you accept the profound, epic loneliness of being the last king of the mountain. You take one more deep, precious breath and turn back towards the heart of your kingdom, ready to begin another long, silent day. You have settled onto a high, sun-warmed granite ledge, your back against the rock, conserving your energy for the long day ahead. The world is yours, a vast and silent panorama of snow and stone, a kingdom of profound emptiness. But you are not the only king here. Your gaze, sharp and patient, drifts across the immense valley to a sheer cliff face on the neighboring peak, miles away. It is a wall of vertical rock that no climbing creature could ever hope to scale. A place where the mountains simply decided that the ground would end and the sky would begin. But high up on that cliff, tucked onto an impossibly small ledge that seems to defy gravity, is a huge, messy collection of sticks, wool, and sun-bleached bones. It is the nest of a lammergeier, the bearded vulture, the only other creature that can claim mastery of these high, desolate places. It is a chaotic-looking structure, yet you know it is immensely strong. Woven together over many years, a fortress against the relentless wind. As you watch, you see a flicker of movement, a dark shape detaching itself from the jumble of the nest. A great bird emerges onto the very edge of the precipice. It is one of the pair. Its wings, with a span of nearly 10 feet, are held tight against its body. It is a creature of sharp angles and stark colors, its feathers a dark contrast to the pale rock, its head a flash of white and gold in the clear, thin air. It stands there for a long time, a feathered monarch on its fortress balcony, its keen eyes surveying the same empty majesty that you do. It feels the wind, tests the currents, its head turning with slow, deliberate movements. It is not just looking, it is reading the air, a language you can feel on your fur, but that it can read. With its wings, then, it performs an act of pure, breathtaking faith, a ritual you have witnessed 1,000 times, but that never loses its power. It does not leap upwards. It does not flap its wings to gain purchase. It simply steps off the ledge, into the abyss. It surrenders itself completely to the emptiness. For a terrifying second, it plummets. A dark stone falling into nothingness, a vertical drop of hundreds of feet. But then, with a grace that defies its size, it unfurls its immense, angular wings. They open like a great, dark cloak, and you can almost hear the soft whoosh as they catch the invisible mountain updraft that sweeps perpetually up the cliff face. Its terrifying fall is instantly transformed into a slow, effortless and majestic ascent. It has given itself to the wind, and the wind, its loyal subject, has accepted it without question. From your distant perch, you watch this daily miracle, a quiet acknowledgement of a power you will never know, a freedom you will never have. the master of the air. Now we follow the Lammergeier as it begins its patient daily work, a tireless search for sustenance in a barren world. It circles higher and higher, riding the thermal currents with an expert's touch, gaining thousands of feet of altitude without a single flap of its powerful wings. Its movements are a study in sublime efficiency, a form of active meditation. It tilts a wingtip here, a subtle adjustment of a few primary feathers, and its trajectory changes. It adjusts its broad tail there, and it stabilizes itself against a sudden gust. It is not so much flying as it is dancing with an invisible partner, responding to the unseen pressures and flows of the air with an innate, perfect understanding. The world unfurls beneath it, a breathtaking cartography of stone and ice. From its perspective, the colossal, jagged peaks that form your world become a wrinkled map, their immense scale reduced to texture. The mighty glaciers, which from the ground seem like frozen, unmoving rivers, are revealed to have a slow, flowing pattern. Their blue crevasses, like deep, secret veins. The sea of clouds you stood above at dawn is, to the Lammergeier, just a temporary feature, a low-lying fog in the valleys of its vast domain, a soft floor upon which it can cast its fleeting shadow. It soars with a supreme confidence, a creature utterly in its element. It is a dark, circling speck against the brilliant, deep, and unforgiving blue of the high-altitude sky. A lonely soul painting slow, lazy circles on an empty canvas. From your perspective, you who are forever bound to the earth by your own immense weight, this is a sight of profound, beautiful otherness. Your great strength is a form of rooted power, a connection to the stillness and permanence of the mountain. The bird's power is the opposite. It is a power of weightlessness, of freedom, of a complete release from the tyranny of the ground. You watch its effortless glide, the way it hangs suspended in the vast blue, and you feel the weight of your own body against the cold stone of your ledge. You are the king of the rock and the ice, a master of endurance and patience. The bird is the king of the wind and the sun, a master of currents and perspectives. You respect its mastery of a world you can only ever watch from below, a world of thin air and endless horizons that is as alien to you as the deep ocean. It is a different kind of king, a celestial monarch to your terrestrial rule, and you watch it on its journey, a silent, earthbound sovereign, acknowledging its counterpart in the sky. Vignette 3. The bizarre feast the Lammergeier's soaring is not aimless. It is a search. Its sharp eyes, capable of seeing incredible detail from a great height, are scanning the steep, rocky slopes below. It is not looking for live prey, for there is almost none to be found here. It is looking for the remains of the past, for the aftermath of accidents, for the bones that the mountain eventually claims from all who try to climb it. It spots what it is looking for, the sun-bleached skeleton of a tar, a wild mountain goat that likely slipped and fell from a high ledge weeks or even months ago. The carcass has been picked clean by snow leopards and other, smaller scavengers, leaving only skin and bone, a pale shape against the dark rock. The Lammergeier descends, its flight path a long, graceful spiral, its shadow passing over ridges and ravines. It lands with surprising delicacy near the skeleton, its large talons gripping the uneven rock. It ignores the smaller bones, the ribs and vertebrae. It walks with a strange, shuffling gait, its head held high, and uses its powerful hooked beak to investigate the largest, thickest bones, the femurs and the tibia, the bones that contain the richest marrow. This is the bizarre secret to its survival in this barren land. It is an osteophage, a bone eater. one of the only vertebrates on Earth whose diet consists almost entirely of bone. It selects the heaviest leg bone, a prize of significant weight. It grips the bone firmly in its strong talons, and with a powerful push of its legs, it struggles back into the sky. The ascent is not as graceful as before. It is work. We can see the immense effort as its wings beat with a slow, powerful rhythm, each downstroke a feat of strength, each upstroke a moment of recovery. It fights for every foot of altitude, the awkward weight of the bone a challenging burden. It climbs again, higher and higher, until it is directly over a specific location it knows well, a wide, flat expanse of rock that serves as its personal anvil, its ossuary. It is a place stained with the residue of countless meals, a sacred and functional site. High above this stony plate, it circles once, takes aim with a precision born of long practice, and releases its burden. You watch the bone plummet, a pale streak tumbling end over end through the thin air. It strikes the rock with a sharp, clear crack that echoes faintly but distinctly across the vast, silent valley. The sound is a dinner bell for one. The great bird descends once more in a graceful spiral, landing beside the shattered bone. It then begins to feast, using its specialized, bristle-like tongue to scoop out the rich, fatty, life-giving marrow from within the broken fragments. It is a display of intelligence, patience, and incredible strength. A bizarre and ingenious ritual passed down through generations of mountain kings. You have watched this entire ritual from your perch miles away, a silent witness to the other kings' strange and solitary banquet. You have seen it all before. This is not a new or surprising event to you. It is a part of the deep, slow, and predictable rhythm of your world. You know the Lammergeyer's ways as surely as you know the path of the sun across the sky. You know the location of its high, inaccessible nest, a landmark on your mental map. You know the flat, stained expanse of rock it uses as its bone-shattering anvil. This knowledge is part of your own vast repository of information, a piece of data as important as the location of a hidden geothermal spring or a patch of edible roots that survives beneath the snow. Your awareness of this other solitary king is a form of silent, distant companionship. You are not just two creatures sharing the same vast, empty space. You are two survivors, two masters of this impossible environment. And you are aware of each other's domains and routines, even if you never directly interact. This awareness manifests as a quiet, unspoken treaty of mutual respect, a set of unwritten laws that govern the high peaks. You consciously avoid the sheer cliff face where the vulture's nest is perched. You have, in your youth, wandered too close by accident, and you remember the frantic, distressed, and angry calls of the great birds, a sound that unsettled you not with fear, but with a sense of having trespassed, of having violated a sacred peace. You learned your lesson then, and you have never returned. Likewise, you never travel to its ossuary to scavenge the bone fragments, even though they might offer some small, salty nutrition. That is the bird's place, its sacred territory, and you respect its claim as you expect your own territories to be respected. This is the unwritten law of the high places, a law understood only by the two of you, the last remaining sovereigns. It is a relationship built on immense distance and a shared, instinctual understanding of the need for undisturbed solitude. The mountain is large enough for both of your kingdoms to exist without conflict. A silent agreement between the master of the earth and the master of the sky. The Lammergeier, having finished its meal, cleans its beak on a rough stone. its meal complete, it launches itself once more into the wind, not to hunt this time, but simply to ride the currents, to feel the air beneath its wings. It soars in a great ascending spiral until it is just a speck, and then heads back towards its nest on the distant cliff face. As the sun begins to dip lower in the sky, the brilliant light of midday softens, the shadows in the valleys deepen and turn from grey to purple. The great bird's workday is done. Your own day of slow, patient foraging and quiet observation is also coming to a close. This final vignette of the afternoon is a quiet, contemplative reflection on the two of you, the sole inheritors of this empty kingdom. The Himalaya is a king of movement, of freedom, of vast perspectives. Its life is one of soaring on the currents, of seeing the world in its entirety, of a fierce and sharp-eyed command of the air. It is a creature of the sky. You are a king of stillness, of endurance, of deep, grounded strength. Your life is one of patient, silent walking, of feeling the world through the soles of your feet, of knowing the secrets of the rock and the ice. You are a creature of the earth. The bird survives by its sharp eyes and its mastery of the wind. You survive by your sharp senses and your mastery of silence. The bird's home is a fortress of inaccessibility. Your home is a fortress of invisibility. You are two different answers to the same impossible question. How does one live here, in this beautiful, brutal, and empty place? As you watch the last, faint image of the bird disappear against the darkening sky, its form melting into the twilight, you feel a strange sense of peace, a quiet easing of the immense solitude that defines you, the immense, crushing loneliness that you woke with feels, for a moment, slightly less absolute. You are not the same, your lives are worlds apart, but you are not entirely alone in this vastness. The shared experience of enduring this silent, magnificent, and unforgiving place is a bond that needs no words, no interaction. You are two lonely kings, and you have both survived another day. You watch its nesting cliff until it is just a shadow among shadows, and then you turn from your ledge to begin your own slow, silent journey towards your sanctuary in the heart of the ancient ice. Let us now explore the secrets of the kingdom itself. The high Himalayas are not a dead world of rock and ice, but a living, breathing entity with a complex and often paradoxical nature. Its first, and perhaps greatest secret, is its relationship with the sun. At this altitude, with the thick blanket of the Earth's atmosphere far below you, the sun is a different being entirely. It is not the soft, yellow, benevolent star of the lower world. Here, it is a brilliant, white, and fiercely powerful diamond. Its light is unfiltered and absolute, making the vast snowfields around you shimmer with a light so intense it is almost painful to behold. This light is a source of life. You feel its warmth on your thick, white coat, a deep and penetrating heat that is more than just a pleasant sensation. It is a vital source of energy. You watch as it touches the sheer rock faces, warming them just enough to melt the thinnest layer of frost, providing a brief, precious opportunity to lick the moisture from the stone. You understand the sun's angles, its daily path across the sky, with an intimacy that an astronomer could only dream of. You know which ridges will catch the first morning light, and which valleys will hold the last warmth of the evening. But this sun has two faces. Its life-giving warmth is accompanied by an invisible, dangerous power. The unfiltered ultraviolet radiation at this altitude is brutal, a force that can scorch any unprotected life. This is a secret that the mountain teaches with harsh finality. You understand this danger instinctively. It is why your eyes are protected by thick, heavy brows, and why the skin of your face is dark and leathery. It is also why you are a creature of the dawn and the dusk. You do not spend the midday hours out on the open snowfields. Instead, you seek the deep, permanent shadows cast by the great peaks, or you retreat into the cool, blue darkness of an ice cave. You have learned to harvest the sun's gift of warmth while respecting its power to burn. Your daily routine is a dance with the sun, a careful choreography of shadow and light, a testament to the profound and nuanced understanding required to exist in a place of such beautiful, unforgiving extremes. This paradox of the sun, both a giver of life and a threat to it, is the first secret of your kingdom. The second great secret of your world is the wind. To a creature from the lowlands, the wind is a fleeting thing, a gentle breeze or a temporary storm. But here, the wind is a permanent feature of the landscape. It is a constant, powerful, and creative force. It is a river of air that flows relentlessly over the roof of the world, and over millennia, it has become the mountain's primary sculptor. Its work is visible everywhere. You walk across vast, open snowfields, and the surface is not smooth. It is carved into a bizarre and beautiful landscape of sharp, irregular grooves and wave-like ridges, some several feet high. These formations are called sastrugi, and they are carved by the relentless abrasion of the wind driving fine, hard ice crystals across the surface of the snow. You have learned to read these patterns as a mariner reads the waves. They tell you the dominant direction of the wind, the areas of greatest exposure, and the safest paths to take. The wind is not just a carver, it is also a builder. As it flows over the sharp spine of a high ridge, it carries snow with it. On the leeward side, the side protected from the wind's direct assault, the air slows, and the snow is deposited. Over years and decades, this deposition builds upon itself, creating a massive, overhanging eave of compacted snow that juts out into the empty air, sometimes for 30 or 40 feet. This is an ice cornice, one of the most beautiful and treacherous features of the mountain. It appears solid, an inviting, white walkway along the ridge, but you know it is a deadly illusion, a bridge to nowhere, held together by nothing more than cold and pressure. Your instincts, honed by a lifetime of observation, allow you to read the subtle signs, the texture of the snow, the curve of the ridge that tell you where a cornice lies hidden. You give these beautiful, deadly features a wide berth, a quiet nod of respect to the wind's architectural power. The wind is not your enemy. It is a constant, powerful presence, a sculptor of immense and dangerous art, and understanding its work is a vital secret to navigating your kingdom safely. The high, Himalayan plains appear to be a sterile, lifeless desert of snow. Nothing grows, nothing moves. This is the perception of the outside world. But you know the secret that lies just beneath the surface. You know that even here, in this frozen world, life persists in small, hidden, and resilient forms. Your day's journey often includes a patient search for these secret gardens. You travel to a specific slope, one you know receives the most direct sunlight during the short hours of midday. The snow here appears no different from anywhere else, a vast unbroken sheet of white. But you do not use your eyes. You use your memory and your profound sense of smell. You can detect the faint, almost imperceptible scent of life emanating from beneath the thick blanket of snow. You begin to dig. Your immense hands, with their thick, powerful claws, are perfect tools for this work. You clear away the powdery top layer, then the more compacted, icy layers beneath, digging with a steady, efficient rhythm. After several minutes of work, you expose a patch of dark, sun-warmed rock, and here, the secret is revealed. The rock is covered in a thin, vibrant film of life. There are colonies of deep red snow, algae, a bizarre, single-celled organism that has uniquely adapted to thrive in freezing temperatures and high UV radiation. Its red pigment a natural shield against the harsh sun. There are also patches of tough, black lichen, clinging to the rock with a fierce tenacity. Lichen is not a single organism, but a symbiotic partnership between a fungus and an alga. A perfect marriage of resilience that allows it to survive where no plant could. To any other creature, this would be nothing. To you, it is a feast. You use your long fingers to scrape the algae and lichen from the rock. It is not a meal of pleasure, but one of pure, vital necessity. This hidden life provides you with essential minerals, nutrients, and vitamins that are impossible to find elsewhere in this barren landscape. This is one of the deepest secrets of your survival. The knowledge that the desert of snow is just a blanket, and beneath it, if you know exactly where to look, lies a hidden garden, a secret and life-sustaining pantry. Your kingdom is made of rock and snow, but its heart is made of ice. The glaciers that fill the valleys are not just frozen rivers. They are living, moving entities, and they hold the oldest secrets of the mountain. You often journey to the terminus of a glacier, a place where the immense, ancient river of ice has cracked and calved, exposing a sheer, vertical wall. To stand before this wall is to stand before time itself. The ice is not white like the surface snow. It is a deep, otherworldly, and luminous blue. This color is the result of immense pressure. Over thousands of years, the weight of the snow and ice above has squeezed every last air bubble out of the ice, making it incredibly dense. This dense, pure ice absorbs every color of the light spectrum except for blue, which it reflects back, creating the breathtaking color you see before you. You run your large hand over the surface of the ice wall. It is as smooth and as cold as polished stone. You peer into its depths, into the blue twilight within. And here you can see the glacier's most profound secret. Suspended deep within the blue ice, like insects in amber, are small, silvery pockets. They are bubbles of the Earth's ancient atmosphere, trapped when the snow first fell thousands of years ago. Each bubble is a perfect, tiny time capsule, a library of a world you can never know. You look at these ancient breaths of air, and you feel a deep connection to the history of your home. This ice was here long before you, and it will be here long after you are gone. You can feel the glacier's immense, slow power. You place the flat of your hand against the wall and feel the deep, subsonic vibration of it moving. A process so slow it is imperceptible to any other creature, but to you it is a clear and constant presence. The glacier is not just a feature of your world. It is the heart of it, a living, breathing, and moving repository of deep time, its secrets held in a silent, frozen, blue embrace. This final secret is the most important of all. It is the key to your survival, the reason you can endure the harshest blizzards and the most brutal, sunless winters. It is a secret passed down through your lineage, a knowledge as old as your kind. It is the secret of the fire within the mountain. After a long day of foraging, as the killing cold of night begins to descend, you make a purposeful journey not to a cave of ice, but to a cave of rock. The entrance is hidden, tucked away behind a permanently frozen waterfall, a curtain of ice that you can pass through. The moment you step inside, the world changes. The screaming, high-altitude wind ceases. The biting cold vanishes. The air here is still, warm, and thick with humidity. You have entered a geothermal sanctuary. Deep beneath these mountains, the Earth's volcanic heart still beats, and in a few rare places, that heat finds its way to the surface. This cave is one of those places. You move deeper inside, and you see steam rising from cracks in the rocky floor. The ground itself is warm to the touch. This geothermal energy creates an impossible oasis of life, where the steam is thickest. Thick, vibrant green moss grows on the cave walls, a shocking splash of color in a world of white and blue. Water, melted by the hot rocks, drips constantly from the ceiling. Its sound a gentle, soothing music. A small, clear pool of liquid water has formed in a depression on the floor, its surface steaming gently in the cool air. This is more than a shelter, it is a paradise. It is a place of warmth, of water, of life, in the middle of a sterile, frozen desert. Here, you can truly relax, your body absorbing the gentle heat from the ground, your lungs breathing the warm, humid air. This hidden cave, and others like it that you know of, are the secret nodes of life across your vast kingdom. They are the reason an air-breathing mammal can survive the long, dark winter at 26,000 feet. This is the mountain's greatest gift, its deepest secret, and your most treasured home. The day which began with your slow, expanding consciousness now begins its final, deliberate contraction into the safety of the night. The sun, your world's distant, fiery heart, has vanished completely. Its final, fleeting colors have been extinguished behind the jagged western peaks, which now stand as a wall of black, sharp teeth against the last, faint vestiges of twilight. The world is transitioning from the soft, deep purple of dusk to the star-dusted ink black of the high-altitude night. The air, which had settled into a temporary and deceptive calm during the sunset, begins to stir once more. But this is a new wind. It is not the steady, sighing wind of the day that spoke of empty spaces and endless time. This wind is different. It is colder, sharper, and it carries a new voice, low, rising hum that seems to emanate from the very core of the mountains. A sound of gathering power, a vibration you feel in your bones long before you hear it with your ears. From your vantage point on a high, granite outcropping, you feel the barometric pressure drop. It is a distinct and familiar feeling, a strange lightness in your sinuses, a subtle hollowness deep within your massive chest, as if the mountain itself has just taken a sharp, deep breath and is holding it in anticipation. You look to the sky and you read its story. The brilliant, clear stars that had just begun to emerge, cold and sharp in the thin air, are now being slowly, inexorably veiled. A high, thin layer of cirrus clouds, like ghostly white mare's tails made of pure ice crystal, races across the face of the moon. They are the outriders, the first scouts of the immense weather system approaching from the vast Tibetan plateau, a storm born hundreds of miles away. The sound of the wind changes again, its voice shifting in tone and character. The low, mournful hum builds into a higher-pitched, more frantic, and keening shriek as it scours the high ridges and flows like a river through the narrow, rocky passes. The profound silence between the gusts disappears entirely, replaced now by a constant, roaring presence. The mountain is no longer singing its lonely song. It is beginning to scream. The first flakes of snow begin to fall. They are not the soft, gentle flakes of the lower world. They are hard and granular, like pellets of sand or salt. and they do not drift down. They are driven almost horizontally by the force of the wind, stinging the exposed skin of your face. You know what is coming. A blizzard. Not a simple snow squall, but a true Himalayan storm. A force of immense, world-altering power, capable of burying this landscape in a blanket of white and ice many feet deep. There is no panic in you, no fear. Fear is a luxury for creatures who have a choice. For you, there is only a calm, weary acceptance. It is time. The mountain is closing its doors for the night, and you, its lonely king, must be safely inside. You rise to your full, immense height, a great, white shape against the darkening, storm-filled sky, and you begin your journey. The initial phase is a race against the storm's full fury. You move with a steady, powerful, and unhurried gait, your massive, snowshoe-like feet distributing your weight perfectly, keeping you on top of the rapidly accumulating snowpack. The wind slams into you, a physical force, a solid wall of air that pushes against your immense body, trying to throw you off balance. You lean into it, your immense strength and low center of gravity making you an immovable object, a walking mountain of your own. You feel the wind trying to find a way through your thick, double-layered fur, but it cannot. Your coat is a fortress of warmth, a masterpiece of natural engineering. The journey is difficult, but you are not struggling. You are simply moving through your world in its harshest, most honest mood. Then the heart of the storm consumes you. The world is erased. It is a complete and total whiteout, a roaring, moving, chaotic vortex of snow and wind. There is no up, no down. There is no horizon, no sky, no ground. There is only the swirling, blinding whiteness and the deafening roar. Sight is now a useless, forgotten sense. You navigate by an older, deeper magic. You navigate by the memory of the land, by the feeling of the ground, and by the ancient map of this place that is etched into your very being. You feel the terrain through the thick, leathery pads of your feet. You can feel the subtle shift in the angle of the slope, the solid, unyielding presence of a buried boulder that tells you you are on the right path, the slight depression that marks a hidden game trail beneath the snow. The journey is a slow, rhythmic trance. 1 foot, then the next. The world is white. You trust your feet. 1 foot, then the next. The world is a roar. You trust your memory. It is a state of deep, focused meditation, your mind clear and empty of all things but the single, determined purpose of reaching your sanctuary. You are a ghost, moving through a world of ghosts, a solitary, determined figure at the center of the storm's magnificent fury. Your passage a testament to your perfect adaptation. After what feels like an eternity of walking through the white, roaring chaos, you smell a change in the air. It is a scent that should not exist in this world of pure cold. Beneath the sharp, clean scent of the snow, you detect another smell, a faint, warm, and sulphurous scent of the earth's deep places. It is the breath of your sanctuary, carried to you on the storm, a thread of warmth in the maelstrom. You are close. You follow the scent now, your internal compass guiding you with unerring accuracy where no visual landmark could ever exist. You arrive at the base of a great cliff face, a sheer wall of dark rock now plastered with thick, wind-driven snow and ice. Here, you find the entrance. It is not a grand, open cave mouth. It is a narrow, hidden opening, almost completely obscured by a curtain of giant, frozen icicles, some as thick as your own body, that hang from the rock face above. They are like the teeth of the storm, a glittering and formidable barrier, each one a dagger of pure, clear ice. The wind howls and shrieks as it is forced around this obstruction, creating a localized vortex of incredible power right at the threshold of your home. This is the final barrier, the portcullis of your ice castle. You push through the frozen curtain, your immense shoulders brushing against the icicles. They groan and scrape against your thick fur. The sound a deep, resonant protest, a sound of immense pressure and resistance. A smaller icicle snaps from the force of your passage and falls, shattering on the ground with a sound like breaking glass. A sound that is instantly swallowed by the roar of the blizzard, and then, in a single step, you are through. You are inside. The effect is instantaneous and profound. The world outside vanishes. The screaming, shrieking howl of the blizzard is instantly cut off, replaced by a deep and resonant silence. A quiet so complete it feels like a physical presence. The violent, horizontal motion of the wind-driven snow is gone, replaced by an absolute and welcome stillness. The biting, ferocious cold on your face is immediately soothed by a gentle, humid warmth that seems to rise from the very ground you stand on. You have passed through a magical doorway from a world of pure chaos into a world of pure peace. You have come home. You stand in the entrance tunnel for a long moment, allowing your senses to recalibrate, letting the peace of the sanctuary wash over your weary body, a silent, grateful prayer for the gift of this impossible, life-giving place. You move deeper into the geothermal ice cave, your sanctuary, your home. The air here is warm and thick with humidity, a stark and beautiful contrast to the thin, frigid air of the outside world. This cave is a living paradox. The walls are made of ancient blue-tinted ice, so thick that the light from your memory of the moon cannot penetrate, but the floor is dark, warm rock. You are inside a glacier, yet you are heated by the very core of the earth. You can see the steam rising in thick, white plumes from long, deep cracks in the rocky floor. These are the geothermal vents, the secret hearts that pump life into this impossible oasis. The sounds here are the sounds of a living cave. The wind is just a distant, muffled rumor now, a story of a storm happening in another world. The dominant sounds here are a gentle, constant hiss as the steam escapes the vents, a sound like a long, held-out note, and the soft, rhythmic drip, drip, drip of water melting from the ice ceiling and falling into a clear, warm pool in the center of the chamber. This is the music of your home. You begin your nightly rituals, a series of deliberate actions that transition you from a survivor of the storm into a resident of this peaceful sanctuary. First, you stand tall in the center of the largest chamber and shake your massive body with a powerful, rippling motion. The accumulated snow and ice that encrusts your fur flies off, clattering onto the rock floor with the sound of falling stones. The ice, which was frozen solid moments ago, instantly begins to melt on the warm rock, forming small, temporary puddles that sizzle softly and turn back to steam. You feel a sense of lightness, of shedding the weight and the cold of the storm, of purifying yourself. Then you walk to the steaming pool. The stones around its edge are smooth and warm, and you kneel down, lowering your great head to drink deeply of the geothermally heated water. It is clean and rich with minerals, and it warms you from the inside out, a profound comfort after the brutality of the blizzard. After you have drunk your fill, you turn to your sleeping place, in a dry, secluded corner of the cave, away from the direct steam of the vents, but still within the circle of warmth. You have a nest. It is a thick, circular bed made of dry moss, and hardy grasses that you have carried here over many seasons from the lower valleys. You fuss with it, using your large hands to fluff it up, to arrange it into a more comfortable shape, circling it slowly, a deep and ancient instinct. Before you deem it ready, these small domestic rituals are a vital part of your peace. They are the acts of making a home, of creating comfort and order in a world that offers none. Your nest is ready. Your body is warm and hydrated. The great storm rages harmlessly outside your fortress of rock and ice, a distant, forgotten story. There is nothing left to do. You lower your immense body down into the soft, dry moss of your bed, the movement slow, controlled, almost silent. You curl into a comfortable position, tucking your great limbs in close to your body, your immense form creating a perfect circle of self-contained warmth. You rest your great head on your arms, and you let out a long, slow sigh, a final exhalation of the day's long journey, a visible plume of steam that rises and joins the gentle mist of the cave. You can feel the gentle, persistent heat from the ground seeping up through your moss bed into your tired muscles, releasing the last of the day's deep tension. You feel your powerful legs go limp, the tension of 1,000 silent steps finally melting away. You feel the muscles in your great shoulders and back soften, releasing the burden of standing against the wind. The world shrinks now to the size of this cave, to the size of this nest, to the size of your own peaceful body. The soundscape is now just the two soft, rhythmic sounds of the cave, the gentle, constant hiss of the steam vents, a sound like a long, held-out, peaceful breath, and the slow, steady, patient drip, drip, drip of the melting water, a quiet and eternal clock counting not time, but moments of peace. This is the lullaby of the mountain's heart, and it is the music that will guide you to sleep. You close your ancient, intelligent eyes. You are no longer the king, no longer the guardian, no longer the lonely survivor. You are simply a tired creature at the end of a long day, in the safest place in your world. Your breathing slows, becoming deep and rhythmic, each exhale creating a soft cloud of steam that disappears into the warm, misty air. You are breathing with the mountain. You are held by the mountain. You are heated by the mountain. And now, you, too, can feel this safety. You can feel the warmth seeping into you. You can hear the gentle, rhythmic sounds that promise that all is well. You are safe. You are home. And you surrender to the profound, deep, and dreamless sleep of a being who has found the one true place of perfect peace at the very roof of the world.